Cover Killer Nation, it is a tragic day of metal. And it is not because somebody has passed away or a band has stopped or something like that. No, it's because we're here to review a Paradise Lost album that's going to be released here in 2012 entitled The Tragic Idol. Now, Paradise Lost is not unlike a lot of metal bands that spawned in the late 80s, early 1990s that have kind of gone through a couple of different identities throughout their career. It's been a lengthy career, so they certainly have had plenty of time in order to sort of toy with the sound, play around with what they do, and kind of master it in many different formats and ways. And in the past couple of years, Paradise Lost have been working to kind of reinvent themselves a little bit, considering the middle passage of their career. Some fans tend to distance themselves from a little bit. It's filled with stuff that seems to be a little bit more along the ways of pop doom, so to speak, if you want to even call it that. Even though these guys are certainly masters of doom and gloom, only not in the traditional doom metal sense that you think about. A little bit more of a classic sense, mixed in with some heavier riffing, some heavier guitars, and just overall a feeling of tragedy. A lot of people at one point may consider these guys companions with My Dying Bride. Not so much anymore, but let's get to Tragic Idol. Now, the past couple of albums that I've listened to by Paradise Lost, I've enjoyed them, but they've just been kind of been passable to good, so to speak. During that middle passage of their career, I really didn't follow them very much. There was some good material that they had here and there. Believe in Nothing, I believe, was the one of the albums of theirs that I had picked up kind of on a whim, and there was some stuff on there that wasn't all that bad. Songs like Mercy and stuff like that, that had a little catchiness to it that was subtle enough that it could be easily discerned by anybody who was efficient in music, but also at the same time it wasn't something that was going to blow your mind. It didn't need to be. It was simple, but it was effective. However, in the past couple of years, they've kind of worked to reinvent themselves a little bit. They've celebrated some anniversaries, and they have continued to just kind of craft their sound a little bit closer toward the classic age of Paradise Lost, even though they're still in modern times. This is an album that really exhibits that balance that's sort of they've been hanging in very nicely, and it also exhibits that they've kind of distanced themselves a little bit from that more poppy style of formula that was almost sort of industrial in nature in some formats, the way in which it was produced and things like that. It's kind of a stretch, but I'm willing to take that leap of faith on that one, and really just go back to the nice raw power of doom, so to speak, that sort of made their name what it is today. It's something that many Metallians know this name instantaneously. And this is an album that proves why that is. This is a very nice return to form, if you even want to call it a return to form, because their last album was not too shabby either. This is a great track, or excuse me, a great album full with a lot of tracks that keep you involved, keep you engaged, but at the same time, the biggest part about this album is the way in which it flows. It flows very nicely, where you're looking down at your playback device and realizing how deep you are in the record, and you're kind of getting depressed. You're getting depressed for a completely different reason than because it sucks. You're getting depressed because you've already gone through a certain period of the album, and that means that the end is nigh. The end is coming. The end is within your view, and it's just kind of depressing because this album is subtly good. It is subliminally good. It's something that continues to improve upon itself with each passing track, and that's a very positive light that this album is able to cast, even though it speaks in the realm of darkness. And in fact, the very last track, The Glorious End, is actually the most depressing track of them all because, well, the album's over after that. And this is a really good release. This was an album that kind of took me by surprise. I was kind of wavering on whether or not I wanted to review it, but then I was glad that I gave it the listen and gave it the opportunity and opted to review it, because this is the Paradise Lost that I remember. This is the Paradise Lost that I fell in love with whenever I initially heard the band. And it wasn't until I kind of got bogged down with their identity crisis that I sort of wavered a little bit, and I wouldn't say distanced myself from the band, but rather just didn't speak their name as quickly as I would perhaps in years past. So I think that's something that's going to change within the next couple of months, because this album will be released and I will be promoting it because this is a very good release. It's something that metalheads that know the name Paradise Lost, or even that don't know the name Paradise Lost but want to get into a new band, should definitely pick up. These guys are not newbies, they're not rookies, don't call it a comeback, they've been here for years. This is a good album in order for new fans to start to kind of get a taste of what they're all about in the new school before attracting back to the old school. Give this an 8 out of 10. I really like this disc. I think it was very fitting. I enjoyed it a lot. And next video, I think I'm going to be doing something a little special, but in case there's something before then, I think there might be another album review in there, and this might be a big one because this is a big album that I'm talking about, and I don't mean big in scale of who it is, but in scale of how long it is. So stick around, Cover Killer Nation. We'll be back.